Hare Krishna. I'd like to welcome everyone to this first session of Applied Bhagavatam. For those of you all who are wondering what exactly is Applied Bhagavatam and um, wondering what exactly is going to happen, how many sessions is this, how many months is this, what exactly is going to happen here, I'll first give you all a good overview of what my plan is. Although I have no idea what my entire plan is, but I can tell you to some extent whatever I understand. And first of all, I would like to invite and thank every one of you who have joined here for this session. For all those who are online, please keep yourself muted. Hare Krishna, for all those who are online, please keep yourself muted. It's very important. I've stopped the speaker, so it doesn't matter now. Anyways, so I would like to invite all of you all. And I'm doing a strange experiment at many levels. First of all, I'm doing a hybrid for the first time, which means you are physically here, but there are at least 200 people online over there, sitting there, from all over the world also attending. So we're trying to figure out the technology. This is the first time, so you have to little bear with me, especially those who are online. But I can rest assured once the teething thing is over, it will be a smooth journey. My plan is to teach you all Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam is an ocean. And I'm planning to teach you all the ocean. That is inconceivable. Okay? I don't know how I'm going to do it, frankly speaking, but I want to do it. Most devotees, they don't ever complete reading the whole Bhagavatam. I know thousands and thousands of people who want to read the Bhagavatam, but they never manage to complete it. So I was thinking that what do I do to assist so many people who want to read and understand the Bhagavatam, but don't have the patience, don't have the time, don't have the ability, don't have the guidance, or even sometimes the understanding, even when you read Prabhupada's book, sometimes not everything you can understand. So what exactly is the way out? And plus, to teach 18,000 verses, which is like a literally huge ocean, it's not a joke, isn't it? So what I have come up with is an idea, which is called Applied Bhagavatam. It's an idea which I hope will work, and I hope it will inspire all of you. And I am hoping that I'm able to complete the whole Bhagavatam. Okay? The idea is that I am going to try to present the Bhagavatam to you all every canto in about 5 or 6 sessions. That's roughly my plan. So it's not going to be verse-wise, but it's going to be chapter-wise. And my focus is not going to be on getting into the technical parts of Bhagavatam. If somebody is interested in the technical part of the Bhagavatam, there is so many other options. The whole online world is available. Bhaktivedanta Vidyapith and GV is available. And Gauranga Darshan's Prabhu's books are available. So many ways are there to, Purijan Prabhu's books are available to understand Bhagavatam technically. But I am not trying to help you all understand Bhagavatam technically. Because I understand most people don't understand technical things. So what I am doing is a more practical approach towards Bhagavatam, which is called Applied Bhagavatam. So I am going to be going through all those sections of Srimad Bhagavatam in a way that you can learn from it and apply it in your life. Okay? So today I am going to give you all an introduction to the whole Bhagavatam, what exactly Bhagavatam is about, and how we are going to study the Bhagavatam. So every single time you come here, you will get handouts. I'm sure all of you all have handouts like this, right? So these 2 pages, for all those of you all who are online, you will have a PDF that has been dropped in the Telegram group already. You can just go through that. This is what I'm going to teach you all. The first page and the second page. This is what I'm going to teach you all today, okay, in essence. So when you go back, you can also memorize it, revise it, etc. Yeah. So that's the plan. So let me start by helping you all understand the logic behind the sequence of the Bhagavatam. The Padma Puran has a very beautiful verse that talks about how the Bhagavatam is arranged. The Padma Puran says the entire Bhagavatam is considered to be the body of Lord Krishna. When Krishna left this world, everyone was very disturbed about what are we going to do without Krishna. And that same Krishna descended in this world in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam. So the Bhagavatam is nothing but Krishna only. In the Bhagavatam, there are, if you have the physical copies of Bhagavatam, if you have touched it, felt it, read it or seen it, you will understand what I am saying better. Bhagavatam is a book, right, physically. It has printed verses in it, printed text in it, Prabhupada's purports in it, in black ink, correct? And it's printed on a white page, correct? That's what Radha Krishna is. The black ink is Krishna and the white page is Radha. So every single page of Srimad Bhagavatam is Radha and Krishna only. So when you see the black ink over there, don't think you're seeing black ink. It is Krishna. Color of Krishna is black, right? Therefore the ink that is used is black. And the white page is Radha. So the entire Bhagavatam is nothing but Radha and Krishna. That's all. So what are we going to do? We're studying the Bhagavatam, which means we are studying the life of Radha and Krishna in great details. So the way in which the Bhagavatam is arranged is like this. There are 12 cantos in the Bhagavatam. The first 2 cantos of the Bhagavatam represent the lotus feet of Krishna. Krishna's 2 lotus feet are the first 2 cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam. The 3rd and the 4th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam are the thighs of Krishna. The 5th canto of Bhagavatam is his navel. Beautiful navel of Krishna. The 6th canto of Bhagavatam is the chest of Krishna. The 7th and the 8th cantos of Bhagavatam are his arms. The 9th canto of Bhagavatam is his throat. The 10th canto of Bhagavatam is his beautiful lotus face. The 11th canto of Bhagavatam is the forehead of Krishna. And 12th canto of Bhagavatam is his head. So, by studying the 12 cantos of Bhagavatam, we will actually study Krishna's personality in completeness. So, if anyone understands Bhagavatam in totality, studies or reads the Bhagavatam in totality, you have complete access to the personality of Godhead Krishna. So, that's what the whole idea is. Bhagavatam is divided into 10 topics. The entire Bhagavatam is in 10 topics. The first topic is called as Sarga. Sarga refers to the elements. There are many material elements. So through the Bhagavatam you will find a lot of details about creation, about elements. So many details are there. Don't worry, I am not going to confuse you all with all those technical details. But we will study them also in a way that we can understand them. Okay? Then there is something called Visarga. Visarga means it is creation. Creation of the living entities, the bodies, the moving and non-moving entities, which is all carried out by Brahma. The third part of the Bhagavatam, the third topic of the Bhagavatam is called as Sthanam. The word Sthanam refers to the protection offered by the Lord in general. This shows the excellence of the Lord. So we will see through so many stories how the Lord protects. That is called the topic of Sthanam. And Poshanam is a very special topic. Poshanam, the word Poshan means the Lord's special mercy to his devotees. And the mercy of the Lord to his devotees happens accidentally sometimes and sometimes planned. So what exactly is the mercy of the Lord and how it is available to the devotees is what Poshanam is. Poshanam essentially means maintenance. How the Lord maintains his devotees. The next topic is Utaya. The word Uti refers to impressions created by the living entity's actions, which leads them to future births. So through the Bhagavatam we will see so many stories of people who have done something and then something happens. So when you keep studying stories of consequences of people's actions, you understand the whole idea of what uti is or what impressions are. The next is known as Manvantara Katha. So the word Manvantara refers to the conducts of the kings ruling in different Manvantaras, basically. So there will be so many stories that we will see across the Bhagavatam of various kings that ruled in different Manvantaras. So we will see that. And then there is something called Ishanu Katha. Ishanu Katha refers to the descriptions of the Lord's incarnations, avatars, and their devotees. This is filled with so many stories of the different incarnations of the Lord and the stories of the devotees of the Lord. So hearing and chanting of their activities is supposed to be our sadhana. The next topic is known as Nirodha. Nirodha refers to the merging of the jiva along with his material identity into the Lord at the time of the devastation of the universe. This is called Nirodha. And then there is the ninth topic is called Mukti. Mukti refers to the jiva's attainment of a form as a pure Atma or as an associate of the Lord, giving up gross and subtle material bodies. This is known as the process of liberation. So we will understand finally how one gets liberated. And finally, the last and the most important topic of the Srimad Bhagavatam is known as Ashraya. The word Ashraya means Bhagavan from whom arises creation, subcreation, protection, mercy, karma, dharma. Everything arises from Krishna, from the Supreme Lord. And taking shelter of the Supreme Lord is known as Ashraya. So Bhagavatam will teach us how to take shelter, how to take Ashraya of the Lord. So these in essence are the 10 topics that we will cover over the next, I would say, 2 years or so. If Krishna wills, and if all of you all are enthusiastic, and if all of you all are excited, I am going to try my best to cover the entire Bhagavatam over the next 2 years. Every week, every Thursday we'll be having classes. And I can tell you for sure, I am going to be putting my 100% in terms of preparation, in terms of making notes for all of you, in terms of doing my best to serve you all in the best capacity. Probably this is the first time somebody is attempting something like this, in a very structured fashion. So all of you all, first of all, I seek all your blessings that I am able to do this. Those who are online and offline both. And also, I'm seeking prayers from all of you all so that we all together do this. If all of you are enthusiastic and really inspired enough, we can make this happen. Therefore, I have given both the facility, online and offline, so that, suppose somebody is not able to come, there is no excuse. You have at least, the online facility going on, And those who are able to come, nothing like it. There is nothing better than sitting live and hearing. And the two in Radha Gopinath temple, such an auspicious place, such an amazing place where Bhagavatam can actually become live in your life. So with that and with that thought, we will actually now start relishing what Bhagavatam says. Let me start by warning you all. There is a warning that Rupa Goswami gives for anybody who is coming to hear Bhagavatam. Here are the dangers of hearing Bhagavatam. And I'm telling you all right on day one, 2 dangers of hearing Bhagavatam. Rupa Goswami, in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, he speaks 2 very amazing verses which are warnings that he gives to the devotees. The first warning is a warning that many of you would have heard of. The first warning he says, my dear friend, if you are very attached to worldly friends, if you are very attached to worldly things, if you are very attached to worldly pleasures, then don't go to Yamuna. On the banks of Yamuna river in Vrindavan, don't go to Keshi Ghat, because there you might see Govinda. And if you see Govinda there, you will lose all attraction to material things. So Rupa Goswami is giving you a warning. Don't go to Vrindavan, and even if you go there, don't go to the Yamuna river. Even if you go there, don't go to Keshi Ghat. And even if you go there, don't see the threefold bending form of Krishna, Govinda standing there. Otherwise, you lose all material interest. Rupa Goswami also gives a second warning. He says, and look at the way he says it. He says, "You foolish children." He's calling all of us basically. He's saying, "You foolish children, it seems that you have let the syllables of the 10th canto of Bhagavatam enter into your ears. Why else would you show aversion to everything that the world is running after? Dharma, artha, kama, moksha." He says that if anybody is interested in anything of this world, don't hear 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So Rupa Goswami is giving you all a good warning. And after hearing this warning, if you all still come for Bhagavatam classes, then don't blame me for what is going to happen. For what is going to happen is obvious that your hearts will get attracted to Krishna. That is what is going to happen. So, Sanatana Goswami, who is an amazing personality, who lived his entire life literally studying the Bhagavatam, he makes some very beautiful glorifications of the Bhagavatam, which I thought is a very apt way to start our journey of Srimad Bhagavatam. Sanatana Goswami once, it's just so amazing that Sanatana Goswami had a dream. This was much before he began reading Bhagavatam, and much before he actually got access to the Bhagavatam. He had a dream one day. And in his dream, a Brahmana comes and gives him Bhagavatam. The next day morning, the same Brahmana comes and actually gives him the same copy of Bhagavatam. And from that day onwards, Sanatana Goswami, every single day of his life, he read Bhagavatam. Every single day, he absorbed himself into the Bhagavatam. And in his great joy and great connection with the Bhagavatam, which he developed over a period of years, he composed some verses glorifying Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the most beautiful verses glorifying Bhagavatam. And I'm hoping and praying someday all of us actually resonate with these verses, and we believe these verses, and we actually live by these verses. These verses are there at the back of your sheets, and you can all chant these verses along with me. And I'm going to tell you all a very special story about these verses after we chant it together, okay? So we'll all chant together. Sarva Shastrartha Piyusha Sarva Vedaika Satphala Sarva Siddhanta Ratnadhya Sarva Lokaika Drikprada. So, Sanatana Goswami is saying, Sarva Shastrartha Piyusha. The Bhagavatam is the essence of all the scriptures. Sarva Vedaika Satphala. Srimad Bhagavatam is the fruit of all Vedic sacrifices, rituals, etc. Sarva Siddhanta Ratnadhya. Bhagavatam is the Ratna or the jewel of all philosophies. Sarva Lokaika Drikprada. Srimad Bhagavatam gives direction to all humanity. The next verse. Sarva Bhagavata Prana Shrimad Bhagavata Prabho Kali Dvanto Vidit Aditya Shri Krishna Parivartita. So he's saying Sarva Bhagavata Prana. So which means that you are the very life of the devotees. Sarva Bhagavata Prana. Shrimad Bhagavatam Prabhu. Who is the life of the devotees? Shrimad Bhagavatam Prabhu. So he is not calling Shrimad Bhagavatam a book. He is calling Shrimad Bhagavatam a person. And it's very interesting, Shrimad Bhagavatam actually is a person. If you treat Shrimad Bhagavatam respectfully, and if you actually worship Shrimad Bhagavatam in the right way, and you start connecting with the Shrimad Bhagavatam will start connecting with you and will actually start reciprocating with you like a person. And he says, Kali Dvantva Udit Aditya. Says, Kali is an age of darkness, right? And in this day age of darkness, Udit Aditya, Udit means rise, Aditya means like the sun. Shri Krishna Parivartita. That means Srimad Bhagavatam is Krishna transformed into a book, transformed into the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam. Madeka Bandhu Madsangin Madguru Madmahadhana Man Nistaraka Madbhagya Mad Ananda Namostute. Look at the beauty of this verse. He's saying, Madeka Bandhu, Srimad Bhagavatam is my only friend. Madeka Sangin, Mad Sangin means Srimad Bhagavatam is my companion. Mad Guru, Srimad Bhagavatam is my teacher. Man Mahadhana, Srimad Bhagavatam is my greatest wealth. Man Nistaraka, Srimad Bhagavatam is my deliverer. Mad Bhagya, Srimad Bhagavatam is my fortune. Mad Ananda, Srimad Bhagavatam is my bliss. Namostute, and I offer respect to the Srimad Bhagavatam. I hope someday we'll be able to say this to the Srimad Bhagavatam. You know, we look for so many friends around us, isn't it? We look for friends, we look for people that we can trust, we look for wealth, we look for so many things in this world. But Sanatana Goswami, sitting in one village in Vrindavan, he has found everything in Bhagavatam only. And therefore he is saying, everything is here. I don't need anything else. Srimad Bhagavatam is my best companion. There was one year, many years back, when I just joined the ashram in 2006. That the first year that I stayed in the temple, I had there was like a very intense training program going on for us. And we had packed days, all day we had so many things going on. And that year, fortunately, I got to travel to Mayapur 4 times. Somehow, something or other kept happening and I got to travel 4 times to Mayapur. And in that 1 year duration, I read the entire Srimad Bhagavatam. The entire 12 cantos of Bhagavatam, I read it in 1 year. With a very intense schedule. And the only way I could do it was, I took a vow. Wherever I go, wherever I walk, even if I go somewhere for 5 minutes, I'll carry Bhagavatam with me. And literally I carried one book of Bhagavatam with me every single place I traveled that year. And then even if, so I would get 5 minutes, I would sit in one corner, I would read 1 or 2 pages. That's how I kept reading. And this whole, when Sanatana Goswami is saying, Mat Sangin, Bhagavatam is my companion, it literally became like that, And in the 4 times that I went to Mayapur that year, I went by train all the 4 times, back and forth. 36-hour journey to Calcutta, Out of the 36 journey, literally almost 20 hours I would just read Bhagavatam. Kept reading all day, all night, And that's how I managed to finish reading the Bhagavatam. Of course, I can never say finish, I remember many years back, I went to a great devotee named Gopi Parandan Prabhu, who was a disciple of Srila Prabhupada. And he was the one who actually translated and commented on the last 2 cantos of Bhagavatam, 11th and 12th canto. Gopi Parandan Prabhu was a part of that team. He's here. He's there in one of those photos. You can see? Yeah. Just below Srila Prabhupada on the left over here in a grey shawl. That's Gopi Parandan Prabhu. Many years back in my naivety, I met him and I asked him a question. This was just after I finished my engineering, So anybody who passes out from engineering college, they pass out very arrogant, They are, in Bombay language, you call them shanas, basically, Like, over smart guys, thinking that they are going to conquer the world and all. So I was one of those kids, And I just passed out from engineering and I met Gopi Parandan Prabhu. I was in Bangalore that time, I was studying and working and all. And I just asked Gopi Parandan Prabhu a question. I asked him, Prabhu, I want to master the Srimad Bhagavatam. Can you please tell me what is the way I can master 18,000 verses of Srimad Bhagavatam? And he told me something I'll never forget in my life. You know what he told me? He told me Bhagavatam is Krishna. No one can ever master Krishna. And I still remember the exact words he said and the way he said it. And that day I realized the only way we can actually understand Bhagavatam is by taking shelter of Bhagavatam. We shouldn't want to master it. We shouldn't want to, control it. We shouldn't want to, intellectually study it. But we should want to take shelter of it. And therefore, the Bhagavatam is completed when you understand the concept of Ashray Tattva, the concept of shelter, which is the mood with which we are going to study Bhagavatam, right? The Srimad Bhagavatam's first canto begins with 3 verses, which are considered to be the most powerful verses of the Srimad Bhagavatam. In fact, the entire Srimad Bhagavatam can be summarized in these 3 verses. The first, second, third verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. And if someone understands these first 3 verses of Srimad Bhagavatam, you literally understand the Bhagavatam itself. So let us try to understand these 3 verses today and see what we can learn from them and what we can apply from them in our lives. The first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, the first verse, it says, it begins with Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. It's an invocation. So, let us all recite it together, not one after another. I'm just going to recite it. Please continue reciting in the same meter, okay? Janmadhyasya yata anvyat itaratas-charte svabhigya swarat tene brahma hridaya adikavaye muyyanti yat surayah tejo vari mridam yatha vinimayo yatra trisargo mrisha Dhamna svena sada nirasta kuhakam satyam param dhimahi. So, in this verse, Srila Prabhupada, if you look at the translation of this verse and the meaning of this verse actually establishes Krishna as a supreme personality of Godhead. That's what the essence of this verse is. Interestingly, the Bhagavad Gita ends by saying Sarvadharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja, and Bhagavatam begins with that. This first verse of Bhagavatam itself tells us surrender to Krishna. Take complete shelter of Krishna. That is what the Bhagavatam begins with. And the word Janmadi Esit, I'll just read the translation. O my Lord, Shri Krishna, son of Vasudeva, O all-pervading personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. I meditate upon Shri Krishna because he is the absolute truth and the primeval cause of all causes of the creation, sustenance and destruction of the manifested universe. He is directly and indirectly conscious of all manifestations. And he is independent because there is no other cause beyond him. It is he only who first imparted the Vedic knowledge unto the heart of Brahmaji, the original living being. By him, even the great sages and demigods are placed into illusion, as one bewildered by the illusory representations of water seen in fire or land seen on water. Only because of him do the material universes, temporarily manifested by the reactions of the 3 modes of nature, appear factual, although they are unreal. I therefore meditate upon him, Lord Shri Krishna, who is eternally existent in the transcendental abode, which is forever free from the illusory representations of the material world. I meditate upon him, for he is the absolute truth. To help us understand what this verse means, I'm going to give you all a very interesting example. There was once an ocean of sweet water. We all know oceans of salty water, right? But imagine an ocean of sweet water. So this ocean of sweet water had a desire that the crop should grow nicely in the fields. But imagine if ocean comes into the field, what happens? Will any crop grow? Everything will get destroyed, right? So the ocean called the clouds. And the ocean told the clouds, I can't directly water the fields because too much water I have. You take some of my water and you go and shower rain on the fields. So the clouds picked up so much water from the ocean, filled up big clouds, and went to the fields. But the clouds realized, if we pour all our water on the fields are going to get destroyed. Too much water we also holding, millions of liters of water literally. So the clouds decided to shower their water on the mountains. And from the mountain, basically, so when the water fell on the mountain, from the mountain the water came down as two streams. And 2-3 streams happened from the mountain, it came down slowly. And these streams were also quite big. 3 streams came down, but they were quite large. So they were further split into 6 streams. And from 3 streams, 6 streams came. And from 6 streams, these 6 streams together went and filled up a large lake. And from that large lake, there were almost 100 different streams, small streams were taken to different fields and used for irrigation. As soon as all this water reached the fields in its own slow way, crops flourished like anything. Beautiful crops grew. Now if you are wondering what is the connection of Bhagavatam with this, have I gone mad? Let me explain to you what this is. And then you'll understand the beauty of this analogy. That ocean which is filled with sweet water is the Supreme Lord, Shriman Narayan, Lord Krishna. He is known as Jnana Sagar. So, that crop that is growing is all of us, Jivatmas. We are all like crops, And the Lord wants the crop of bhakti to grow in our hearts, right? So, the crop growing well means devotion growing well. That's what it means, basically, in this analogy. The ocean feels, I can't give all my water to these guys because these guys can't handle my power, or my, grace. So the Lord calls the clouds. In our life, who is the cloud? In our life, because we are falling in the Gaudiya Vaishnava Parampara, Madhva Gaudiya Vaishnava Parampara, in our life, the cloud is the Paramacharya who is Madhvacharya. So, the cloud, Madhvacharya, collected huge amounts of that nectarine water from the Supreme Lord. And he went to a mountain named Madhavendra Puri. There was a huge mountainous devotee named Madhavendra Puri. And he dropped all his rain on Madhavendra Puri. And from Madhavendra Puri, 3 streams came out. Ishwara Puri, Nityananda Prabhu and Advaitacharya. These 3 streams came out and further divided into 6 streams, which are the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. And these 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, all the 6 streams of water came together and collected in a large lake known as Srila Prabhupada. And from that large lake known as Srila Prabhupada is filled with sweet water, the mercy of the Lord, the 100 disciples of Srila Prabhupada that are preaching all over the world, who are now the GBCs and gurus and all that, they are spreading the mercy and watering all the plants in different fields, So all the different GBC zones and all the different places all over the world where the mercy is flowing is that. And we are all sitting over here and hopefully the mercy is reaching us and we will grow into flourishing beautiful crops. So that is the way the Supreme Lord functions. Similarly, the Lord is known as the ocean of knowledge, and He has come down to us in the form of our gurus, our teachers, and that ocean of knowledge has come down to us. So when we hear the knowledge of the Bhagavatam, and someday, as you keep hearing the knowledge of the Bhagavatam, your heart will melt. This is what is supposed to happen, Ideally, when we hear the knowledge of the Bhagavatam, our heart is supposed to melt. And when our heart melts, our bhakti grows, right? So basically, from the ocean, that knowledge went to the clouds. And from the clouds, that knowledge fell on the mountains. From the mountains, it came down as streams and filled up a lake, and then it reached the crops, all of us. If that water has reached all the crops properly, that same water will come down in the form of tears. The day you start actually experiencing tears in your eyes, when you're reading the Bhagavatam, when you're hearing the Bhagavatam, when you're chanting the holy names, when you're actually experiencing Krishna in your life, that day you should know the crop is growing well. The same ocean. From the ocean only the water has come. Finally it comes down in the form of tears. And the day that it comes down in the form of tears, that day you should know that cycle is completed. And the Supreme Lord's mercy has reached you, finally. And therefore, that Lord who is there to waiting to give us His grace and mercy, He is known as Puratanaha. Puratanaha means He is the oldest person. Here the Bhagavatam says, Janmadi Yasyataha. He is the oldest of old persons. Adi. Janma Adi. He is the origin of everything. So this verse establishes our relationship with the Supreme Lord. This is known as Sambandha. So the first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam establishes a Sambandha Tattva, our relationship with Krishna. Just for this one verse, there are about 108 commentaries of various acharyas. Only on this one verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur once spoke on this one verse of Bhagavatam for 30 days. Only on one verse of Bhagavatam. For 30 days. And that too, after 30 days he had to stop because, he had to go somewhere. Otherwise he would have probably continued God knows how many days, So, that's the whole idea about how intensely powerful we are, the knowledge of Bhagavatam is. So here we are hearing this word Satyam. Dhamna Swena Sada Nirasta Kukam Satyam Param Dhimahi. What does this word Satyam means? The word Satyam means Krishna. And the word Param refers to Radha. Radha is called, Radha Paradevata. She is always known as Paradevati. So the word Satyam refers to Krishna, and the word Param refers to Radha. And the word Dhimahi refers to I meditate on them. So what is this first verse about? The first verse is about our meditation on Satyam Param, on Radha and Krishna. Dhimahi means we use our mind to contemplate. What happens when Radha and Krishna interact? When Radha and Krishna interact, Janmadi Asyata. Janma means what is born when Radha and Krishna interact. When Radha and Krishna interact, the Adi Ras is born. What is Adi Ras? Adi Ras is Madhurya Ras. So that is the first thing that is born. So Janmadi. So the Acharyas give so many commentaries on this one verse. And one of the commentaries says this entire verse is talking about Radha Krishna pastimes. So it's a more Rasika type of commentary basically. So it's a technical commentary that this is about creation and manifestation and all that. But the Rasika commentary, this is all nothing what to do in creation and all. It is all about Radha and Krishna's experiences of Adiras basically. So this is the first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. The second verse of Srimad Bhagavatam is a more interesting verse. Here, let us chant this verse together. Dharma projita kaitavotra paramo nirmatsaranam satam vedyam vastavam atra vastu shivadam tapatrayon mulanam Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni Krite Kim Va Parerishwara Sadhyo Hridayi Avarudyate Atra Kritibir Shushrubis Tatshanat. So here, this verse talks about the Abhidhaya or the process. So the first verse establishes Sambandha, our relationship with Krishna. The second verse talks about Abhidhaya, the process of connecting with God. What is the process of relating with Krishna? What do you do after you are in Sambandha with Radha and Krishna? So the moment you are in sambandha with Radha and Krishna, the first thing you do is dharma projita kaitravotra. So he says that throw away all temporary dharmas. Throw away all temporary things and focus on our eternal, on the eternal thing. So what are the temporary dharmas or duties that we have in this world? All the material labels that we have put on the spirit soul, they are all temporary dharmas. Anything that is connected to our bodies, anything that is connected to material things, they are all temporary dharmas. The Bhagavatam says, the second verse of Bhagavatam says, throw all that out. So Bhagavatam does not tolerate anything material at all. That is so the extent to which Bhagavatam can tolerate material things is only the second verse. After second verse it says, if you want anything material, don't come here, Baba. Very clearly. That is the extent to which Bhagavatam can handle, you having material desires and material things, basically. So he says, throw out all that. And the Bhagavatam says, the process of becoming close to Krishna, of developing our connection with Krishna is Nirmat Saranam Satam. Become free from envy. In this world, we have so much envy, isn't it? People open Instagram and all the time they feel envious of other people. Oh, this person has so much, this person has so much, this person is doing so much, this person has so many followers. Come on. Bhagavatam says, Nirmat Saranam Satam, become non-envious. Forget envy. This world is running because people are so envious of each other, isn't it? So much of envy, isn't it? Bhagavatam says, don't have place for envy in your heart. And then it says, Satam, Nirmal Saranam Satam. Satam means walk on the path of eternal truth. Vedyam Vastavam Atra Vastu. That means know the ultimate Vastu in this world. Vastava Vastu. What is the meaning of Vastava Vastu? Vastu means thing, right? Vastava Vastu means what is worth knowing. Vastav means reality, right? Vastava Vastu means that which is the ultimate truth, that which is ultimately worth knowing. We know all the faltu vastus of this world, but Vastava Vastu we still don't know. So the Bhagavatam says, forget envy, forget, walk on the path of eternal truth and try to understand Vastava Vastu, which means try to understand the ultimate Vastava Vastu, which is Radha and Krishna. So, behind all the changing things in this world, everything in this world changes, isn't it? Fashions change, trends change, education changes, jobs are now changing after AI and robotics and all. People are wondering whether my job is going to be relevant or not. Everything in this world is changing. But the one thing that will never change is Radha and Krishna. So instead of trying to understand and put your brain and knowledge to understand all the things that are going to change, put your intelligence in trying to understand the Vastava Vastu in this world. And if you understand Krishna, who is the Vastava Vastu, then what happens is Shivadam. Shivadam means all auspiciousness is guaranteed. That is the meaning of Shivadam. And the next thing that happens is Tapatraya Unmoolanam. The word Tapatraya means there are three miseries in this world. They are called Tapatraya. Which are the three miseries for those who have attended Journey of Self-Discovery? Adi Bhautik, Adi Devik and Adhyatmik Klesh, right? Misery is caused by the body and the mind. Misery is caused by other living entities. And misery is caused by natural disturbances. Tapatrayanam Unmoolanam, which means that the Tapatraya gets uprooted for somebody who takes shelter of Radha and Krishna. Srimad Bhagavate. So it says that Srimad Bhagavatam is the one expressing the process of devotion. Mahamuni Krite. It has been created by Vyasdev. And says, Kimva Parer Ishvara. That means, if you read this, Vyasdev was the one who has written all the Vedas, right? Vyasdev was the one who has compiled all the scriptures that you can get in this world. And here in this verse, Vyasdev himself is saying, Kimva Parer Ishvara. If you read this, what is the need of reading anything else? So it essentially is saying, if you read this one Bhagavatam, you don't need to read any other book in your entire life. Bas, Bhagavatam is enough to give you everything you need. So all the millions of books, self-help and this and that are there in the world, nothing is needed if you read this one Bhagavatam, basically. And because we are not reading this one Bhagavatam, we need everything else. And those who read Bhagavatam, they don't need anything else, basically. And it says, so basically the point is, if you can reach Golok Vrindavan with one book, why do you need so many other books? That's the question, basically. So, we are all reading Bhagavatam to find Krishna. But Parikshit, who has already found Krishna, is hearing Bhagavatam. So imagine that, So those who have found Krishna are busy reading Bhagavatam. Vyasdev, Parikshit Maharaj, Shukdev Goswami, Narad Muni, all of them are busy reading Bhagavatam. And therefore, it is said, reading Bhagavatam is better than finding Krishna also. Because those who have found Krishna are reading Bhagavatam only. That's the point. So here, and when somebody starts reading Bhagavatam, what happens? Sadhyo. So the word sadhyo means immediately. Sadhya. Turant. Immediately. What happens? Hridi. In the heart. Avaruyudyate. Avaruyudyate means Krishna is found in your heart. Immediately. And further it says, Attar kritribi shushrubis tatshanat. Tatshanat means that moment itself. The moment you read Bhagavatam, that very moment Krishna is found in your heart. So that's the extent to which the Bhagavatam is being emphasized over here. The third verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam is a very, very beautiful verse. This is like the nectar of the Bhagavatam and one of the most beautiful verses. I highly recommend all of you to by heart these three verses of Srimad Bhagavatam. 1, 2, 3. These three verses I highly recommend you all to by heart. And after these three verses, the last verse of the Bhagavatam you can by heart. 12th canto, last verse, which is about Nama Sankirtana, prayer. So if you just by heart these three verses and the last verse, you can say, I know whole Bhagavatam. 18,000 verses I know. You can easily claim that because that is the truth also. Nigama kalpataror galitam phalam shukamukadamritam dhruva samyutam pibata bhagavatam rasamalayam muhuraho rasika bhuvi bhavuka. So it says here, Nigama kalpatarur galitam phalam. Nigama kalpatarur means this entire Bhagavatam is considered to be the mature fruit of the desired tree of Vedic literature, Vedic literatures. So if you consider all the Vedic literatures to be like a tree, so it says Nigama kalpataror. If all the Vedic scriptures you consider it to be like a tree, okay? Galitam phalam, the fruit of that tree is Srimad Bhagavatam. So if all the Vedas, all the scriptures are like a tree, the fruit that is hanging on this tree is Srimad Bhagavatam. Nigama kalpataror galitam phalam shukamukad amrita dhruva samyuktam. It says, whenever there is a fruit, in any fruits are there, like a mango or a guava, whatever fruits, if a parrot bites that fruit, it seems that the fruit tastes more sweeter. So in this case, the parrot that has bitten that fruit is Shuka. Shukadeva Goswami, the word Shuka also in Sanskrit means parrot. And Shukadeva Goswami is narrating the Bhagavatam because that Bhagavatam is coming out from his mouth, the Bhagavatam which is already sweet, it has become even sweeter. That's what it says, Pibata Bhagavatam Rasamalayam. So all the great devotees of the Lord should drink the nectar of Bhagavatam. Pibata Bhagavatam Rasamalayam. This is an ocean of bliss, of nectar, basically. Muhur aho rasika bhuvi bhavuka. So it says, and this nectarian juice is relishable for everybody, including those who are liberated. So new people can learn and relish it. Great devotees who are already liberated can relish it. Those who are sadhakas like us can relish it. Everyone can relish this Bhagavatam. That's what this whole thing is. So this verse talks about the prayojana, the ultimate goal of the process. The first verse talks about Sambandha, our relationship with Radha and Krishna. The second verse talks about Abhidhaya, how to revive our relationship with Krishna, how to develop our relationship with Krishna. And the third verse talks about Prayojana. What is the goal of the relationship? The goal ultimately is Prema Bhakti, loving devotion. Here is an open invitation to all the Rasikas and Bhavukas of this world. The Rasikas are those who are seekers of nectar. We all seek nectar in some way or the other, isn't it? So far, we have been seeking nectar in gossip. The moment you say, you know what happened? Oh my God, we are like crows diving into that nectar so much. We love that nectar, isn't it? The Bhagavatam says, forget that nectar. Here is the real nectar. Yeah? Here is the real juice. If you dive into this, you don't need any of that nonsense of this world. So he's calling, this is an open invitation to all the rasikas of this world. All those who are seeking rasa, seeking taste, seeking nectar, come here. And bhavukas. Bhavukas means those who are soft-hearted. So if any of you are rasikas and bhavukas, Bhagavatam is meant for you. And this verse is an open invitation. Come and experience Bhagavatam and taste Krishna Prem. So that is the invitation. I'll explain to you what this means through a story, a very beautiful story. When the coronation of Sita and Ram was happening in Ayodhya, everyone was glorifying Sita, Ram so much, and Hanuman. The sages, the sadhus, were glorifying Lakshman, because Lakshman was the one who killed Indrajit. Indrajit was even more difficult to kill than Ravan also. And Indrajit had so much mystical powers, and Lakshman killed. So, when Ram heard everybody glorifying him, Sita, Hanumanji, and Lakshman also, Ram said, all of you are glorifying everyone, but no one has glorified Urmila. She is the one who has done the biggest sacrifice here. She stayed away from Lakshman, And so Ram said, let everyone celebrate others. I will celebrate Urmila. It's like that Ram said, And then he called Urmila. And he asked her, ask for any boon you want. And Urmila said, my dear Lord, I didn't do anything. You may be glorifying me, that is your greatness. But in my opinion, it's simply your blessings that I did what I did. She said, I don't want any glorification. I only want your prasadam. So, the word prasad means mercy of the Lord, basically. So, Ram told her, don't worry, I'm going to do a lot of yagyas. So, Ram eventually did about 100 Ashwamedha yagyas. So, he told Urmila that I assure you, one part of the prasad from these yagyas will come to you. Every time I do a yagya, the prasad that is offered to the gods, to the devatas, that will come to you. Urmila said, see, I didn't ask for prasad from the devatas. I wanted your prasad. So Ram tells her, all the prasad that is offered to the gods in the yagya, it comes to me only. And whatever food is offered to Agni in the yagya with mantras, the devatas transform that food which is offered to Agni into amrita, into nectar. And that amrita is given to me. It's given to Lord Narayan. And that amrita that is given to Lord Narayan is relished by the rishis. And that amrita I'll give it to you, Ram says. So Urmila, she received that nectar, the prasad of Lord Ram, every day from that point onwards. And by consuming that amrita, the prasad of the Lord, it is explained that Urmila herself became amrita. In Puri, Jagannath Puri, since we are all on the verge of Rath Yatra, here is an amazing connection. In Jagannath Puri temple, Prasad is the most important part of the temple, right? It's all about prasad. The prasad there never gets spoiled. And anyone who eats that prasad achieves amritam, achieves perfection, and that person gets moksha. So it is said in Puri, in the Tala Mahatmya of Jagannath Puri, it is said that prasad of Jagannath is Urmila herself. So Urmila meditated and absorbed so much prasad of Lord Ram that eventually she became prasad of the Lord. So it is explained that she didn't want her to have her own existence. Nobody glorifies her. She's not interested only. But she wants to continue remaining in the form of prasad of the Lord. So it is said, Urmila doesn't want any sort of fame, but wants eternity. So for all of us, if we are all interested in amrita, nectar, that amrita can be achieved by hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam. And let me explain to you a story that shows you the connection. When Shukadeva Goswami was narrating Bhagavatam on the banks of the Ganga, Parikshit Maharaj had just 7 days to live. So the Shringi Brahmana boy cursed Parikshit Maharaj. You will see the story of that next time. So after the curse, Parikshit Maharaj was about to die. So there, Shukadeva Goswami came at that right point in time. He was narrating Bhagavatam to Parikshit Maharaj. So the demigods who were hearing the Bhagavatam, they came to him, to Shukadeva Goswami, and they got a jug of Amrit, nectar. And they told Shukadeva Goswami, this person is going to die in 7 days, therefore you are giving him Bhagavatam, right? Tell him to drink this nectar, he will not die only. Instead of that, you give us Bhagavatam. We already have drunk a lot of nectar, So the demigods came to Shukadeva Goswami with an exchange offer. We'll give you Amrita from the heavens, you give us Bhagavatamrita. We'll do an exchange offer, Shukadeva Goswami, when he heard this, he said, get out from here. You are comparing the nectar of this world with the nectar of Srimad Bhagavatam. There is no comparison only. Shukadeva Goswami said, all of you all get out from here. You all are not worth qualified to hear the Bhagavatam also. So therefore, for all of us, we are so fortunate that Bhagavatam, which is considered to be nectar, Amrita, which gave Parikshit Maharaj perfection. See, he achieved perfection simply by hearing the Bhagavatam. So similarly, we all have the same fortune of hearing the Bhagavatam and achieving the perfection of our lives. Brahma saw this and he was amazed. Parikshit Maharaj, he was dying, but yet he did not die. He went back to the lotus feet of Krishna, Golok Vrindavan directly. So in his abode, Satyaloka, Brahma got a scale, weighing scale, basically. On one side of the weighing scale, he placed all the sadhanas that grant moksha, that grant liberation. Every single sadhana that grants liberation, he placed it on one side of the scale. On the other side of the scale, he put Bhagavatam. And the Bhagavatam was more heavier than all the others. So for all of us who are wondering whether reading Bhagavatam, studying Bhagavatam, hearing Bhagavatam, is it worth all that effort? Is it worth coming in the rain? Is it worth coming in the heat? Is it worth coming in the Bombay traffic? Is it worth coming in all the stress that we are in? It is worth it. Because this one thing overweighs everything else you can do in your entire life. And therefore, if you are interested in achieving Amritatva, this is the place. The Bhagavatam is the way. And that is the way in which we are all being introduced to the Srimad Bhagavatam. The sages of Naimisharanya, they are very concerned about all of us. See, we are hardly bothered about ourselves. But the sages of Naimisharanya 5,000 years back are really concerned about us. And they really want to help us. And they really gather together. 88,000 sages. They gather together in Naimisharanya to find out what is it that people like us, Kali Yuga products, need to do to perfect our lives. 88,000 sages come together and perform 1,000-year-old sacrifice. 1,000-year sacrifice just for people like us. And therefore, Um, when we are, when we try to understand the Bhagavatam, we should understand that the Bhagavatam is not just meant for hearing; it is meant for applying in our lives. So what I just did with the first three verses of the Bhagavatam is kind of give you all a little brief introduction of what is to come. I'm not even got into the Bhagavatam. I was just about to get into the Bhagavatam, start the story of Naimisharanya sages, and I saw the time is up. We already spent a good 1 hour together, and but we are not even started. So my request to all of you all is that please, 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 as much as possible, join in for the live classes. I can tell you, if you don't prioritize a live class, you're not going to hear it. Life is too fast, you know. So these video recordings and YouTube links and all that, they get buried with time, you know. It'll never happen that you will go back and hear it someday. So we always think, you know, that we'll go and hear tomorrow. It is not going to happen only. So my suggestion to all of you all is that if I'm going to be here, which means I'm prioritizing this over so many things, right? I mean, I potentially can be anywhere in the world, you know, doing classes. But if I've chosen to not do anything else and sit here and do classes for you all, which means I'm seriously prioritizing this. And I really want all of you to do the same. Let us very intensely prioritize the Bhagavatam for the next 2 years, whatever amount of time it takes, you know. And let us absorb ourselves. If this is what nectar is, if this is the assurance that the sages are giving us, if this is the assurance that Vyasadeva is giving us, if this is the result that we are going to attain, might as well take the best advantage of this, right? So while it is happening, let us take advantage of this. I don't know when in my life I will ever do this again, you know, or whether I'll do it again or no. But now that we're doing it, let us take full advantage of it and try our best to be very sincerely there. I understand in some cases when you're not able to travel or for whatever reason it is, online is always going to happen. Therefore, I have given both the facilities to you all. But those who are in Bombay must prioritize, okay? More than anything else, you get an opportunity to have the darshan of Lord of Radha Gopinath. That's the best icing on the cake. So I'll stop here now. The next time, what we're going to do is, we'll start on time, sharp 7:30. Try your best to be here so that we get a good 1 hour, 15 minutes at least together. From the next time onwards, my plan is, I'll speak exactly for 1 hour and leave 15 minutes for question answers and discussions, okay? So today I spoke a little too much. I was too excited, I guess. But the next time, I'll stop sharp at after 1 hour, and we can have 15-20 minutes of question answers, okay? Thank you very much. I would like to thank each and every one of you for being here, both the offline and the online world, and I'm hoping to continue in this journey together. Thank you very much. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavat Mahapuran ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.